The last thing that we are going to look at in Chapter 8 is doing polynomial division. So we're going to look at two different kinds of problems. The first one is dividing a polynomial by a monomial. So this is the easy one to start with. So we have this polynomial, 3q to the third minus 6q, divided by this monomial, 3q. It's a monomial because it only has one term. Whenever we're dividing by a monomial, we're going to do just like we did with the greatest common factor. So I'm going to take this polynomial, 3q to the third minus 6q, and I'm going to divide each term by 3q, because that's what we're dividing by here. So every single term gets divided by 3q. 3q to the third divided by 3q. Well, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Q to the third divided by q is q squared. And then 6q divided by 3q, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and q divided by q would cancel each other out. So my final answer is 1q squared minus 2. Or if you just write q squared minus 2, that is fine too. Alright, so when you're dividing by a monomial, you just divide each term by that monomial, just like we did when we did greatest common factor earlier in this chapter. You have a second example there. I want you to go ahead and pause now and try this one on your own, and then you can come back and check the answer. Okay, here is the answer for this one. 2t to the third minus 5 halves minus 6 over t squared. So again, I just divided each term. This first term should have been pretty easy. Then in the second one, 5 divided by 2, that can't be simplified at all. So it just stays as 5 halves, and t squared divided by t squared would cancel each other out. Then in the last term, negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. And I have t squared on the bottom and nothing here. So that t squared needs to stay on the bottom. And this would be my final answer. And that is as simplified as it's going to get. Okay, the second type of division that we're going to learn is dividing a polynomial by a binomial. So I have b squared minus 2b minus 15 divided by b plus 3. Doing this like a greatest common factor won't work here because I have two terms. Alright, so I can't just divide each term by two terms. That doesn't work. So how we're going to do this division is we're going to use the box, like I showed you when we were multiplying polynomials. We're going to use the box and work backwards. So I know that b plus 3, alright, is one of my factors. Alright, and I'm looking for b plus 3 times what would give me this as the answer. Okay, so I can fill in the two corners of the box. Alright, I know this is going to be b squared and this is going to be negative 15. Alright, remember when we did this using multiplication, my like terms were in these two boxes and we combined them. So I don't know what goes in here yet, but I know that I want them to combine to give me negative 2b. Okay, and I have to figure out what goes up here. That will be the answer to my division problem. Okay, remember when we did the box, it was this times this, and we put the answer here. So we're going to work backwards. What times b would give me b squared as the answer? Well, the only thing that can go here is b. So b times b would give me b squared. And now I can fill in a box. So b times 3 would be plus 3b. Alright, now I want my like terms, which are going to go in these two squares like we talked about, to combine to be negative 2b. I have positive 3b here. So I need this box to combine with 3b and give me negative 2b as the answer. So this box has to be negative 5b. Alright, because then my like terms here would combine to negative 2b. So again, I'm working backwards. What can I put here so that when I multiply it by b, I get negative 5b as the answer? Well, that has to be negative 5. So right now, the answer that I have here is b minus 5. All right, and let's just go ahead and double check that everything in here makes sense. B times b, that is b squared. B times 3 is 3b. Then b times negative 5 would give me negative 5b, and negative 5 times 3 would give me negative 15. So this box makes sense, and if I were to combine my like terms, I would have b squared minus 2b minus 15, which matches the original from the problem. So here is my final answer, b minus 5. Okay, so we're using the box and kind of working backwards from the way that we did multiplication in the last chapter. Okay, so I'm going to work through one more with you. So I know x plus 8 has to go on one side, and I'm trying to figure out what's on the top. I can always fill in this corner as x squared, and then the 24 is going to go in that corner. I can't fill in these two boxes because these are going to be my like terms that add up to 11x. So I need something times x that gives me x squared as the answer. Well, that has to be x. And then if I multiply out, x times 8 gives me 8x. Alright, I have 8x and I need it to combine and make 11x, so this has to be a 3x. And then what times x would give me 3x? Well, that would be 3. So I think the answer is x plus 3. Let me go through and double check my multiplication in like terms. So x times x is x squared, x times 8 is 8x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 8 is 24, and if I were to combine like terms and write this out, it would give me x squared plus 11x plus 24, which matches the original, so x plus 3 is my answer. Okay, that's it. I'm going to give you a problem to try on the Google form on your own, so don't forget to go and fill that out.